What is up, my people? Happy hump day. It's true, Tristan. Middle of the week. 2 more days till Friday. Hope everyone's day has been swell so far. I know I did like a little side braid thingy. Braided hair for the win. We got some lovely ingredients to work with today, guys. It's gonna be delicious. No Pringles or cola, though. I'm sorry. Sammy is better. Thank you for asking. He just got a little car sick yesterday, and I guess I've never gotten it, but if it happens early on in the day, then it lasts the whole day. So it just kind of makes you feel like crap the rest of the day. It's really nauseous and tired because you're kind of like fighting your own body, I guess. I know I love pork chops. These ones are so nice. Really good mix of the light and dark meat, and the marbling is really, really nice. So like this piece right here on the edge, that's like the best part. It's gonna be delicious. And were you here last time I did them reverse seared, or did we just do them in the sous vide so far? I think I did both types already. I forget though. So we're gonna slowly roast them in the oven first to start. Bring them up to medium rare, and then let them cool off, and then we're gonna stuff them so that none of that filling starts to ooze out later on. The white is bad? The white is so good for you, Tristan. The white is the most flavor. And guess what? Today, guys, it smells unreal in here. Mom made cookies. That's the timer. So she just asked me to finish them off on stream because she doesn't want to be in here. But they look so good. This is what we got. Biggest tray of cookies ever. They're celebration cookies, I think. Hi, Monica. Betty Boop is in the background.
Why Betty Boop?
And then we're looking for a nice golden brown on the outside, and then if you check the bottom, it should be nice golden brown as well. It's usually when you know your cookies are done. So I'm just going to take these off of the pan and then put the last bit in. And then we can get rolling. Her new haircut. Oh, yeah. I forgot I told you that. Do it. Okay, we just have a little bit of batter left. I tell them all things. I haven't made cookies on stream yet, but it's always good to keep your cookie dough nice and cold when you're putting it into the oven. So that's why this was in the fridge. And these are oatmeal, coconut, chocolate chip, and cranberry.
Yeah.
That's it. You would, Tristan. Not even surprised. Man, you got like guts of steel. If I ate all the stuff that you did, I would have a sore stomach all the time. I'm just not built for it. But this little bit, you know I'm gonna eat that. Stream snacks. Aw, yeah. Gotta get the cookie dough before you eat the cookie. You won't be here tomorrow, Tristan. This was the one day that you were supposed to be. But you're still alive today too? Aw, yeah. It's true, yeah. Watch how much, like, if there's raw egg in your cookie dough, if you're buying it, just be careful. You might get salmonella. But yeah, homemade stuff, obviously it has raw egg. Depending on what you're making. So don't eat too much of it. But like a little bit is fine. As long as you keep it cold too.
Not a cereal bowl.
This is delicious. Best way to start the stream. Is it pasteurized? I don't know. Probably. Of the kitchen the way it is now, I can. I can do it in Discord. And then as we change it, you guys will get to see all the new things. Yeah, I'll do it after for sure. Sammy actually just sent me all of the photos today. I didn't have them. I know, I was gonna sketch out the stuff today, but I didn't have time, which is fine. It's not like it's a huge kitchen or anything, but it's gonna be fun to work in. It's nice and bright still, which I do love. And then my one window looks directly into the garden, so it's pretty nice. Sammy the Beard. Okay, snack has been had. Yay, but that's so amazing. I'm so happy for you. And can I just say that you're amazing for having twins? Because not a lot of people get to do that in their lives. So kudos to you, Butt. You're awesome. All right, guys. If you didn't see the menu posted on the stream yet, we are gonna do some nice bone-in pork chops. Holy smokes, you had them at 20. Well done. Okay, I'll listen, Tristan. I'll keep talking though. So bone-in pork chops, we're gonna reverse sear them again today. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure you pay attention. I'll go through the whole process as well, so don't worry. It's not as scary as it sounds, for sure. And then while those are slow roasting in the oven, we're gonna make our stuffing with some sauteed onions, some apple, and some sage. And then at the end, we'll throw in the raisins and the brie, because we don't want the brie to melt and like make it really goopy. We want to keep the brie in nice cubes and have that slowly melt in the pan when we pan sear our pork chops after. And then we're also going to do a really nice and smooth sweet potato puree to put on the bottom of our plate. Really, really nice color contrast here. And then our green veg is those baby roasted squash, the Mayan squash, and some green beans. I was thinking of just dressing them with a lemon, thyme, and garlic kind of dressing, and then roasting them on really high heat in the oven to get a nice char on there, but to keep it nice and juicy in the inside still. That is crazy, Tristan. Yeah. That's not supposed to happen that much. That sounds delicious, First Order. Thank you for the biddies so early on. Teriyaki stir fry with soy sauce and mixed veg on a bed of steamed rice and sushi. Thank you for the host as well. Welcome, everyone. Awesome, First Order. Thank you. So timeline today. I know this always takes me a lot longer than it would take you, so I always calculate out what it would take you guys to cook. So that way it's not like, oh my gosh, it takes, what, 3.5 hours to make this? It doesn't. You can get this done in about an hour and 15 minutes. The timing is just that long because the pork takes a bit in the oven to cook, but that's the important part, and that's what keeps it really nice and tender and moist on the inside. You could also just pan sear the pork, but I always like to show you guys different ways of how to cook stuff. And that way that will broaden your perspective on cooking. Thanks, First Order. So the pork gets slow roasted in the oven at 250 Fahrenheit for 35 minutes approximately. The internal temp should read about 110 Fahrenheit. So that will be medium rare. I know that sounds weird, but we're gonna bring the temp up to a nice medium later on in the pan when we finish it off. And then the sweet potatoes should only take about 20 minutes to boil in the pots. Then I think I'm just gonna put them into the Vitamix with a little bit of butter and orange juice and some salt and pepper. I've done this before and it's really, really tasty. So I've never served it with pork or anything like that. I've done it with turkey. So we'll see how it goes. I think this will all taste delicious together. And then for our squash, it should only take about 10 minutes to roast in the oven. We'll probably crank it up to like 450 Fahrenheit because they are small, so they won't take a long time. And then the beans should only take about 5 minutes because they are small. So we're gonna throw those in halfway through the squash's cooking time. That way everything will stay nice and crisp and won't get burnt. Butter and lemon pepper, yes. We still haven't gone to the store yet.
Okay, I'm going right now because I have to get a recess.
Betty's going to the store to get lemon pepper. You heard it here first. She's like, I'm out of here. This stream's for you then, Tristan. Once again. So, pork chops, ingredients. I have 6 here. They are bone in. They are, if you can see here, a good inch in thickness. That's what you want to look for if you're going to do the reverse sear method. You don't have to get bone in, but I always find it gives a lot better flavor and keeps the meat more moist. Hi, Jim Jim. There is no Starbucks here, my dude. Not a thing. Yeah, they are some thick chops. So for the filling, we're gonna do half an onion, 2 apples, probably a 1/4 cup of raisins, which I think we're gonna just hydrate them a little bit with some warm water ahead of time, and some fresh sage, which you can, I think, see in the other camera clearly. And then I have 4 medium sweet potatoes and some butter and orange juice for the puree later on. And then our baby squash, green beans, fresh thyme, and lemon and garlic. So not a ton of ingredients today, but all of these go really well together. And I do have like quite a few fun facts today. It's gonna be an interesting one. We'll do a little bit of pork history. Learn a little bit more about that. Okay. All right, fun facts. So pork is the most commonly consumed meat worldwide. Kind of shocking. I would have probably guessed that it would be chicken, but carrying on. And there's evidence of consumption dating back to 5000 BC. So it's been around for a while. Pork is eaten both freshly cooked and preserved, with curing extending the shelf life. Oh, I'll post it afterwards for sure, girl. Definitely make it. And then you have to post the photo to me and tell me how it went. Tristan. So that's why you're always eating Pringles and Coke, because the car comes first. I guess some guys' cars are like their girlfriends, so I get it. I get it. Pork is the most popular meat in Eastern and Southeastern Asia, and is also very common in the Western world. It's highly prized in Asian cuisines for its fat content and pleasant texture. Consumption of pork is forbidden by Jewish and Muslim dietary law for religious reasons, with the sale of pork being very limited or even illegal in certain countries. Interesting what goes on over there, hey? There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. Consumption of pork accounts for about 38% of meat production worldwide. According to the USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service, nearly 100 million metric tons of pork were consumed worldwide in 2006. Kind of disgusting. That number rose to 110 million by 2015. And by 2017, half of the world's pork was consumed in China. By one single country, they consume half of the world's pork. Yeah, Tristan, it's true. But in China, pork is preferred over beef for economic and aesthetic reasons. The pig is easy to feed and it's not used for labor. The colors of the meat and the fat of the pork are regarded as more appetizing, while the taste and the smell are described as sweeter and cleaner. It's also considered easier to digest. So, kind of fun fact is when I was on my prep for bodybuilding, I wasn't allowed to eat pork because my coach said it was like full of hormones and stuff and it was hard to digest. So, I'm finding all of this that I'm telling you guys kind of funny. I think he was wrong though. But he was Persian, so that might have something to do with it. I know, I didn't eat bacon for like, what, 7 months of my life? It was brutal. In rural tradition, pork is shared to celebrate important occasions and to form bonding. The cookies. I think 2 more minutes. Delicate muffin. Yes! I've never seen you in here before, so I appreciate that fully. You can blame me if anything bad happens. You missed just a little bit of fun facts. Not a lot, though. So one of the cool things is that the consumption of pork accounts for 38% of the meat production worldwide. And then last year, China consumed half of the world's pork that was produced. Craziness. They love their pork. Jim, you better try that marshmallow thingy next week. What? It's your first time? Amazing. Mia. Hello. I got some girls in here. Tristan, it's you and the girls. Tristan and his grills. So pork is also known to carry some diseases, such as pork tapeworm and trichinosis. Thus, uncooked or undercooked pork can be dangerous to consume, although raw pork is commonly eaten in parts of Europe. I don't know what parts, I didn't divulge further into that, but I can definitely look into it further, because that is interesting. I've never eaten raw pork on purpose, but I once had it served to me in a fine dining restaurant in Vancouver, and you bet that I sent it back to the kitchen. I literally put my finger in it on the plate and was like, this is not cooked. Like, my finger just like smushed through it because it was just raw. Yeah, it's not good for you unless you know where your pork is coming from. So nowadays, pork is produced. Cookies are killing me right now, guys. But they'll give me life later on, so it's allowed. The last of them. Celebration cookies for the new house. Okay, so nowadays pork is produced in a more controlled environment, limiting diseases and allowing consumers to eat it medium to well done. So I do eat my pork medium now instead of well done. I know when I was growing up, I always ate like this rubbery, stringy, overcooked pork, and I can't do it anymore, guys. You gotta change your mindset just a little bit. I've never gotten sick from eating it medium cooked either. Well, I was sitting, like, we were in a table right in front of the kitchen, so Sam and I literally watched them cook it in front of us, and then they served it to us raw, and we were like, what are you guys doing? It's not a 6-burner, it's a 5-burner. So there's 4 on the outside and then 1 big one in the middle. I wish I had a 6-burner cooktop though. Before the mass production and re-engineering of pork in the 20th century, pork in Europe and North America was traditionally an autumn dish. So pigs and other livestock coming to the slaughter in the autumn after growing in the spring and fattening during the summer. Due to the seasonal nature of the meat in Western culinary history, apples have been a staple pairing to fresh pork. So pork and apples, always a really good combo. That's why I'm doing it today. It's hard to beat for sure. It's a little fancy muffin. I've seen some of the kitchens that my viewers have, and I guess I do have a pretty fancy kitchen. I'm blessed. That's all I'll say. There are a few important elements to look for when cooking the perfect pork chop. You're gonna want internal juiciness, evenness of internal cooking, and a deep, dark, crisp crust. By using the reverse sear method, we can easily control all elements involved in cooking the perfect pork chop. Yeah, exactly, Tristan. That's so true. So the internal temperature will slowly be brought up to medium rare temperature, 110 Fahrenheit. Keep in mind that does seem low for medium rare, but it's going to carry over cooking as it sits out and rests at least 10 degrees. So it's going to bring up to 120 Fahrenheit anyways. So that's going to ensure that there's no overcooking initially. The slower you cook something, the more even it cooks, and the more tender it will come out to be as well. With having the pork chop on a metal rack as well, it helps to keep the outside dry, resulting in a more even sear and crust. So that's basically why I always dry off my meats before I sear them, just with a paper towel. If you leave anything juice related on the outside, it's not going to sear the same. It's more going to steam it that way. I'm sorry, Muffin. We're going to switch soon, though, because we found out that Tellus will just, like, get rid of Shaw for us, and we don't have to deal with them. So it's going to happen sooner than later, guys. For sure before we get into the new house, because that's still a couple months away. And that is it for fun facts, my people. So first thing I'm going to do is just put the pork chops onto a metal rack. We have to let the oven cool down a bit right now because it just was at 350 Fahrenheit for the cookies. I know, kind of bad timing, but it's fine. We can make up the filling though right away because that has to cool off anyways. No, not till April 27th now, Jim. We're going to see if we can get in a little bit earlier, but so far they're saying no. And it's going to be kind of crazy because our move out is the same day that the next people are moving into here. Craziness. April 27th. Blame Betty. I mean, I can't really blame Betty because she made cookies. I can't do it, guys. First things first, sheet pan or a baking tray of sorts. I love that you consider my accent exotic. Where are you from, Muffin? And then we're just gonna put a couple of racks on top of here. You wanna make sure that they have little feet on them so they're raised off of the pan. And that way the heat can circulate evenly both under and over the pork. New Zealand, ah. I've heard that New Zealanders and Canadians get along very well. Yeah, that's exotic. let's get into this pork. I'm still gonna start by giving them a little rub down with the paper towel. Make sure it's all nice and dry before I season it. I just missed someone's follow here. CJ, welcome to the stream. No one likes the Aussies. That's sad. One place I still need to go. So here is our lovely pork chop. Try and hold it up better. So really, really good mix of both light and dark meat here. It's exactly what you look for. And then all of this meat that's still on the bone is gonna be amazing. And there is quite a bit of marbling in there, if you can see the little fat streaks. So really, really nice pork chops. And for this method of cooking, you definitely want them at least an inch in thickness. So you can see this one, it's a little bit different than the last one. If I put them side by side. But as long as they're the same size, that's all that matters. And these are loin chops. Yeah, they do, but cut off the fat. Get out of here. Get out of here. What do you think makes your meat taste so good? Like this? We're gonna sear that up. It's gonna get nice and crispy. Delicious. And I've seen way fattier pork chops. Like this fat cap, I've seen it like at least a ½ inch thick being served in restaurants. And people eat the shit out of that. Oh man, but like that's a very untraditional chowder recipe, but it's by far one of my faves. I love the flavors in it. I think I'm gonna open my oven a bit just to let the hot air out. Cool it off and heat up the house at the same time. Okay, this is where we're at. This loveliness. It's time to season this up. Chowder comes from New England in America. So that's the original form of chowder. And we're just gonna keep a simple salt and pepper because we are filling this with some pretty strong flavors. And then getting the salt on here really nice and early is going to help that penetrate the flavor all the way through. Get a nice crust on there. And then when it comes time to sear later on, it's going to be fabulous. And once again, seasoning is something that you have to teach yourself. That's one thing that you can't teach another cook how to know how to do it. You need to just do it over and over and trust yourself that you're putting enough on. And not too much. And if you're unsure, it's always better to do less. And that way you can top it up once it's cooked later on. So you can't take the salt out of food, but you can definitely add it. Thank you for the follow, Muffin. Glad you're here. It's always great to see new faces in here. Yeah, we'll do some lemon pepper on the veg today. Panda! What is up, sir? How is the day? Oh. We had a jam in the pepper mill, guys. This is also a really good method to do for stuffing pork chops, because that way you know the internal temperature is going to be perfect. It's always a little bit difficult to figure out the right temp when you have fillings that's already cooked. It's really hard to temp a piece of meat when it's only about 1/2 inch thick, right? So we're gonna get these to the right temp to begin with, and then just pan sear them off later on, and then that should bring it up to perfect medium. Guardian, we got a New Englander in here, guys. Ask away your chowder questions. This stream is toxic? What are you talking about, Tim? In the best way possible? The white bowl. Nope, that is the baby squashes, and then the beans are underneath. Get our close up here. Okay, which chop would I pick, guys? Probably one of these two. Because this meat on the outside is like the best thing ever. That's like the outside of a ribeye steak right there. All of the flavors. That's not a chowder question. It's true. The thirst is real every day. You know it. Okay, pork is done. I guess I should transfer these cookies off of the pan. Real quick, guys. I'm still here. And I've also been told that this pan is the cookie pan, so I'm not allowed to use it in any other method of cooking. It goes in a separate place so that way I don't mess it up. Pretty hilarious. Sounds good, Tim Spice. You're really spicing it up here. Oh, I know it's the New England Patriots. I don't watch football, but I know the teams. Man, I didn't take the bait at all. I don't give a heck what you think. Okay, next thing's up. Let us peel our sweet potatoes and get them ready. Maybe I'll just pop this pork into this cam for now. While the oven is still cooling off. Guardians with the follow. Thank you. Another one to add to the squad. All you new followers, just so you know, there's a Discord invite to our server on my channel page. If you're into that kind of thing, we quite frequently chat on there together off stream. I mean, even sometimes on stream, if you guys want to post photos and stuff. True story, I don't love sweet potatoes unless they're cooked with like butter or cream and sugar. But just roasting one of these and like eating it out of the skin, I can't do it. I don't know why. I think it's just a texture thing. But as soon as you add butter and salt, I am in. And like yams baked with brown sugar and stuff, definitely into that. Where is Rando? I'm not sure. Rando's moving soon too, Tristan. April 1st for his. They got a nice little property with a shop built onto it because he's mad into cars like yourself. So that was perfect for them. Oh, that's hilarious. And here he is. The sward is here. Yeah, that sounds good, Booper. Curried sweet potatoes, I'd be into it. But like I've seen some people just like roast these whole and then cut them open and like stuff them with stuff. I don't think I could eat it like that. I have a thing and I can't kick it. But, okay. Have a good dinner. Hopefully see you later. Timbo's having a bad day for some reason. I don't know what's going on. We got a wee little troll in here, but I'll let him keep going until he gets bored. So we're gonna need a pretty big pot for these. That should fit. Sorry for the noises. I'm sorry. And then same deal as boiling potatoes. You want to get some cold water into here right away. Onion bite and a sweet potato. That would probably be pretty good. Bye, but It's true, Booper. I did butternut squash gnocchi a few weeks back. It was fun, but it was a pain for sure. If you don't like it, Tim, then why are you here? Is my question. You could just leave and go watch someone else. And unless you like being forced out and getting all the attention that way, then by all means, continue on. So we're gonna cut these into pretty big chunks. But just make sure that they stay all consistent size. That way it cooks really evenly. Monocle, did you end up making any of the gnocchi yet? What did Jim post? That's the greatest thing ever. Potato gull. Amazing, Jim. Alright, so just cutting the sweet potato down to similar sizes. Obviously, as it tapers off near the end, you can keep that size larger. And we have a fresh delivery here from Betty.
Okay.
For Mr. Tristan. This is for you. Booper! What are you doing? Holy! Let's get a little dance. Let's dance, girl. Thank you for all of the biddies. Man, I didn't even need that. I'm still having a good time with you guys. The trolls are always lurking. It's just a thing, right? Booper, come on. Well, now you have to start thinking about what you want me to cook for you on stream. That's one of my things, is I do a top cheer from the week, and then I'll do a stream for you, whatever you want me to make. You did it, Monocle? That's awesome. Muffin, I don't even hear it. It's the same as when I say a boat. Tristan gets me with it every time. But I'm glad I entertain you that way. Because honestly, I do love listening to everyone else's accents that I think are exotic as well. Guys, don't click that link. We don't know who that is. Just saying. Oh, maple syrup would be good. I think I underestimated this pot. And our oven is cooled off now, so let's get that started. 250 Fahrenheit. It's always easier to do a bigger pot, and then it won't boil over. I know sometimes I like to push those limits, but I can already tell it wasn't big enough. It's fine, Jim. Okay. Booper, are you thinking, stinking? You got some time though. We can figure it out on Friday if you want. You know what, Lori? I think she's waiting for a sweet potato snack, so I'll leave a little chunk aside for her. She likes to munch. It's a fact. Hey, girl. What is the popular coffee house in Canada? I think it would depend on region, guys. Definitely region. Like Vancouver, there is over 100 Starbucks in the little vicinity of that little island. But then we also got Beanz, which is Canadian. We have Serious Coffee out here in Souk, where I am. What else do we have? We still have Tim Hortons. It's not as big though as Starbucks now, for sure not. And honestly, I would choose McDonald's coffee over Tim's coffee any day. But I rarely go out for coffee anymore just because it is so expensive. I'd rather buy locally roasted beans and make the coffee myself at home. So much pressure, Booper. Don't crumble. I feel like I should be under the pressure. I have to make whatever you want. Your cat goes berserk over canned corn. That is a funny one. Maybe because it just smells so sweet. Okay, so here is our sweet potatoes. We're gonna fill that up just over them with cold water. You don't want to fill the whole pot. Just enough to cover the potatoes. Yeah, home espresso for the win. I know, Delicate, but you know what? They switched their coffee a couple years back, and that's what McDonald's has for coffee now, is Tim Hortons' old coffee. Interesting, Lori. I don't know then. Cats are just funny. Ask the Canadians. We will agree. Maybe that was in the States, though. I don't know, Tristan. Nope, BC is the opposite coast, Delicate. Okay, let us get probably a good tablespoon of salt into these sweet potatoes that we're gonna boil. And that's some pretty perfect timing for our oven as well. We're not gonna boil the sweet potatoes yet. It's only 3:30. So we got some learning to do for sure today on stream. I'll figure out what to teach you guys while everything's roasting away. I could do cheesecake. I love cheesecake. Cherry cheesecake for the win. Okay, pork chops are going in our oven. And I'm going to set a 30-minute timer to start. And then you'll also want to have a nice digital thermometer that is calibrated properly for this. Tristan. It can be difficult. You really have to know what you're doing when you're making the batter. Obviously, you don't want any lumps in it, but you want to be careful that it doesn't crack down the middle, because you do see that quite often, right? And then you don't want it to be too soupy. Yeah, exactly, Booper. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna try this lemon pepper. It looks different from the one that I used to use, so maybe they've changed the recipe and it tastes better. Yeah, watch out. Thermometers in crazy places. Thanks, Muffin. Most of the people just call them like drawn on Sharpie eyebrows, but they're real. Okay, here is my lemon pepper little tester. It's interesting. It's got like a weird iodine flavor in it. Like, this is why I never liked using it before. Maybe it's the ascorbic acid. Okay, we'll put a little bit on the veg. Not a ton, though. You're crazy. The sink has not been fixed yet, Lori. Soon. I know you guys are hounding on me to get that done, so sooner than later, for sure. Booper, I still can't believe you cheered me that much. I'm in shock. Okay, we can process our little squashes and beans though now. Here is what it looks like. I just gave them a rinse off before stream. What? Yeah, she broke the sink. You guys are nuts, you little lemon pepper fiends. I don't get it. Okay, there's the rest of our little spread there. And I think all of the veg should go onto this. Lori with the sub. Holy smokes, you guys. Okay, 4 more. And I'm gonna end up eating a raw onion. That's awesome, Boops. 4 more subs. I know Panda wanted to escalate this situation the other day and just give me the money for the subs. But I was like, no, that's not the point. It's true though, Mia. I blame the boys that aren't even here right now. Onionies and Omat. Yeah, Delicate. So for my first 15 subs, I said when I got there, I would eat a raw onion. I'll just fart a lot. Sounds good, Lore. Sounds good. She tells the truth. At least someone's warning me what happens. I don't do this every day. Drink a bottle of maple syrup? Ugh. I don't want to ruin maple syrup for myself, though. No, there's been no farts on stream yet. Just a couple of burps, Mia. Poor Sammy, for sure. I wouldn't even have to tell him. He'd just be like, you hit your 15 subs, didn't you? Okay, good old parchment is going on our sheet pan for our veg. That way they can caramelize nicely. Okay, Lore. Now we know. Thank you for clarifying that. Most of the usernames are really hard to kind of figure out what the gender is. Not that I ever assume it. Drink a bottle of vinegar? Jim. That would be like a straight cleanse. I don't even know if that would be healthy. It's true, Arthur. Your username throws me curveballs. Okay, for this squash, yay for men who are learning to cook, right? It's true. Loriander. I'll just call you coriander. Yeah, Boops, that's what I thought too. Bottle of vinegar will like disrupt my pH internally. I don't think that would be a good thing. So I'm just quartering these little squashes. That way there's more surface area for it to brown up in the oven. And these are really great because the seeds are so small that you don't have to scrape anything out. They're really, really nice and delicate. And they don't take long to cook either. Muffin. We got a pro in here. That's amazing. I must say I have definitely gotten a good range of viewers in here, from people with no experience to people with quite a bit. So that's nice to know a little bit about your guys' cooking history as well. It helps me figure out what I want to cook on stream for you as well. Some days I go really basic, other days I do everything by hand, like pasta. But since I started, I think I'm almost 2 months in now, I have not made the same dish twice. Oh my God, on your knees. He made it. Tristan, I'm still surprised that you're alive. Jimmy has experience in eating food, just not cooking it. That's fair. You're a well-seasoned eater. I wish I had that job. You know what, Muffin? They're actually not Canadian squash. They're from the Mayan. But I saw them in the grocery store and I've got them, I think, 3 times now, and they're always lovely. I'm gonna try to find this variety though, so that I can grow them this summer myself, because I've really enjoyed eating them. Obviously we can't get squash right now, it's just too cold to grow it. Mia's gone in 2 hours. Sounds good, girl. I could cook some Danish food. I'm in. Always into it. A lot of the things that I've done on stream is stuff that I haven't made before. I've eaten a lot of things, so I know the flavors, which is what makes me push to be creative and try and recreate that flavor on my own. So here's our little squashes. Onionies is with the grill. Oh shit, hello grill. I'm gonna flip them all over so that they're cut side up, and this way it's gonna absorb all the oils and lemon juice that we're gonna pour on. The skin doesn't absorb quite as much as the inside flesh does, so another little trick. And I think I might actually do the beans on a separate pan, just because there is so many of them. So let's just do this. Get everything nice and spread out now. Also, not overcrowding your veg when roasting really, really helps. So you don't want anything really overlapping or stacked on top of itself, because otherwise it just tends to steam. Looks good enough to me. Get one more pan out. You just saw a sled dog. My dog is a Vizsla, Hungarian Vizsla. She's a cute little grandma. That's a good thing, Loriander. Yeah, I had to step away after 7 years. It just got too nuts. Oh yeah, Omad is with the grill. I know, I saw what he cooked. It looked so good. Loriander, if you wanted to pop into Discord, we have a recipe section. Feel free to post anything in there that you want me to make. I'm usually the only one that posts in there, but by all means, it's open for you guys too. Why not? I love rustic food and root veggies. I'm in. Panda! Yeah, Doggo is snacking on green beans with me. Getting that fiber in, you know? No, you haven't, Onionies. I mean, I think I keep you pretty busy with those montage videos, though. Okay, the beans are gonna overlap a bit, but that's okay because they are delicate, so we'll just give them a toss. And I'm gonna adjust what I said before. I said I would put the beans in halfway through the squash roasting, but we're gonna put these both in at the same time and then just give the beans a quick toss up halfway through. That way they'll cook nice and evenly. And the next thing we're gonna do is just do up our little seasoning for the veg. R.I.P. Panda. It's okay. No shout out. Okay, lemon, some thyme, and some garlic. Our little ingredient pile is getting lower already, hey? Slim pickings over there. Yo, Anies, you should have heard my facts earlier. China consumed half of the world's pork last year. Yeah. They love pork. And then out of all the meat consumed in the world, pork makes up 38% of it. I didn't think pork was like the main meat that everyone ate. But now we know. I really think so. There's no way that they can produce that all themselves. Not a chance. You'll stop, Jim Jim. I mean, we usually only eat pork once a week. Maybe twice if we have something cured like bacon or sausages on the weekend. But other than that, we don't eat it a lot. I'd still rather choose like fish or anything over eating pork. That's where you're at, Loriander? You're in Copenhagen? Can I come visit? Just saying. I would love to go to Noma. One of my friends from Vancouver actually worked there for 3 months. He did a stage there. Oh my gosh, Loriander. Now that I know this, it's dangerous. And they're just getting ready to open up their Noma 2.0, hey? I'm so pumped. Their Mexican Noma, though, looked amazing. Renee is just crazy. See, I think I'm creative, and then I look at Renee, and I got nothing on that guy. We're just gonna make this little veg marinade in a bowl, and then pour it over the veg after. I think that'll be the easiest way to distribute it. You know what, Muffin? I agree. What did I tell you the other day when we were shopping, Betty? I ate boneless, skinless chicken breasts for like 8 months straight when I was doing training for a competition. So over it. Oh, Loriander, I'm a big foodie, for sure, if you can't tell. I could talk about this stuff all day. And I do really like to educate myself on what else goes on in the world. In the culinary industry, I guess. I love cookbooks and everything like that, too. Okay, so we just minced up the garlic. Just gonna give the thyme a nice fine chop now. It's true, guys. Chicken breast is like the leanest thing you can eat, so that's why it's so good for diets. But you know what? There's a ton of spices and herbs that you can use to just give it a little bit more flavor at least. That's the one thing that I wouldn't just use salt and pepper on. Like garlic and lemon is a great combo. Two things that are really easy to keep in your fridge all the time. They don't go bad fast. You like Heston? I have 2 of his books. I have The Fat Duck, and then I also got his historic book. Haven't dived in or dove into the historic book too much yet, but it looks really, really cool. I love all the illustrations. Parsley and apple. Yeah, that sounds good. You can't get turkey there. Yes. Handle turkey the same way. For sure. The only, I guess, poultry that you can cook to medium rare or medium is duck. So turkey and chicken, handle them the same way. But for cooking duck medium rare, I would only do that with the breast. The legs are just too tough to cook that way. All right, next thing going in this little bowl of ours is some olive oil. And then I'm gonna season the veg separately. I'm not gonna put the salt and pepper in here. And little heads up, we're at 9 minutes out for our pork chops. And then those have to cool, and I'll make the stuffing after this. What about goose? That's a good question. I've never cooked a goose, so I'm not entirely sure about that one. But I would put it in with the duck family. Status red. That shit is shut down. You guys are getting crazy storms over there, hey? Okay, checking up on goose cookery. Oh, you missed my turkey answer? So I said it's the same as chicken. The only one that you could cook medium rare is duck, but just do that with the breast. Don't do that with the legs because it would be too tough. Can't really find much on goose, guys. I'll have to look into that further. Ooh, what kind of turkey did you buy? Okay, so this is nicely distributed. You got a nice mix of herbs and oil and lemon in there. Yo, pickled eggs! Hello, good sir. I know, green beans. If I move this stuff over, you can see the little squashes. Did you guys not stream today? I kept watching. Just drizzle this over and then I'll toss it up after with my hands. Make it all happy. Yeah, that's crazy, Anies. Well, hopefully it doesn't get too much worse for you guys. I feel like this winter is just like really giving everyone the gears. The whole world. Okay, Wednesdays are your day off. Now we know. Oh. Zoo City with the raid. Welcome, my peeps. I have a dirty hand right now. And there's crazy stuff going on in here. Zoo City hot rods. Super cool. I like hot rods. I'm into it. Sounds good on you knees. You want to push those limits? I'm in. Have I cooked pheasant? No. I've cooked squab. I have cooked guinea hens. I have cooked... What's the other really small bird? Quail. But no pheasant or goose. Two things that you guys can stump me on, for sure. You know what, guys? these ingredients, they're not local, but they are fresh. So I feel pretty blessed to be able to use ingredients like this still. Even though it shouldn't be that way, right? Like, these ingredients should stay where they are made, but nowadays everything is available year-round, so we're lucky in that sense. Onionies. Something mayo. Pepper, some salt.
What's Jane's last name?
Just a sec, guys.
What's Jane's last name?
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. That's crazy. They're like stocking up for the storm or what? Raid the shelves. You don't know what's gonna happen. I don't usually do beans in the oven, like roasting them, but I've done it once before and I love the little bit of char that they get on them. And I've also not done these little squashes before in the oven. So a couple new things as well today, guys. It's always fun to learn with you at the same time. Then I'm not as scared. Okay, those are all seasoned up. Now they can just chill, let them soak in the marinade, and we'll probably cook them up. What do we have for time? 4 in an hour, let's hope. I know this stream is a little bit easier than I usually prep, so we'll take it nice and slow. Divulge into more food cookery questions. Turkey steaks. So is that the breast then? Just sliced, I guess? Yes, Brussels sprouts roasted in the oven. Unreal. No pressure, Panda. Hello, everyone. Yeah, eggs? I know. So far, Booper's winning. I don't know if she if they decided on cheesecake yet. They're crumbling under the pressure. Okay, our last few ingredients are getting brought over to the board. And this is for our pork chop stuffing. You want to eat an ostrich egg hard boiled? Kudos, sir. I always wanted to just crack it in a huge pan and make a nice thing of scrambled eggs. Yeah, you're feeling the cheesecake, Boops? We can do that. You can change it though, by all means. You have until Friday, so I won't write anything down yet. Okay, I'm not gonna talk yet because this is gonna go off. So chops have been in for half an hour at 250 Fahrenheit. Holy shit, Lori! Loriander, what is going on? You're gonna make me blush. I can't handle it, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, my cheeks are for sure turning red. Here is a little extra for some special cooking day you want to do. I appreciate that so much, sir. I really hope that I can come and visit you in Copenhagen one day. This is also why I started streaming, is to meet people because I do love to travel and go eat. Pretty much the only thing I did when I traveled in Europe. Okay, real quick. Take a drink to celebrate. I mean, I know it's not Thirsty Thursday, but it's Wellness Wednesday.
What would you like as your shot?
We can have a little drink. I'm feeling well.
What do you want?
Shots. I just hear Little John in the background. Springform pans, yeah, they can be tricky. Okay, let's just get a little peek here. So the top is definitely getting a little bit darker. And I'm gonna go for the thickest chop here and try and get the center temp. We're gonna look for it to be around 110. We're climbing up to 102. So what, we need 8 more degrees. I would say this is gonna take an additional, let's say 6 minutes. And see how much that is. Should be good though. And then these are just good to come out and rest. They have to cool off before we stuff them. Otherwise, it'll just get all melty with the brie and really messy, which we don't want that to happen.
Some this.
Sure.
Okay, I'll take 2 of those shot glasses.
6 minutes. I just need to get a drink here. Okay, frog in the throat is gone. If you come here, I'll give you a trip to Noma. You have to tell me very in advance. Yeah, you have to book a good 3 months in advance. You're crazy, Loriander. Okay, let's get these shot glasses, I guess.
Right there.
The wee little rocks glasses. What are we having? Sambuca?
Do you want ice or no ice?
I don't need any ice. You grew up next to an ostrich farm? How is the meat, by the way? I can just imagine you getting chased by them. Run! Yeah, that's good. All right, friends. Cheers. We're doing a little Zambuca. This is for you, Loriander. Too good. It's too good. What the F is Brie? One of the best French cheeses ever. It's very, very creamy. You can get double cream. You can get triple cream. You can get ash ripened. The list goes on. This piece is getting a little bit old. You can kind of tell by the color of the rind, which is why I am using it to stuff the pork chops. So I'm gonna cut off a little bit of that darker bit of rind, but it's still really good inside. You can tell it's been sitting there for a bit because it's starting to get really nice and ooey and gooey in the center. That is Sammy the Beard's favorite cheese. It's not my favorite cheese though, but it is quite mild in flavor. Truffled brie, yes. Truffles everywhere. What is she, a 5-star chef? I guess I aspire to be. Yeah, truffle it all up. Delicious. Okay, For the stuffing, let us dice our onion. Let's go for a small dice here so we don't get too big of chunks in the middle of our pork stuffing. Onionies, this is for you. The OG Onion Squad. Okay, I went too far down. For the newbies in the stream today, how I like to chop my onion usually is I follow the natural fiber lines and then also follow the semicircle shape as well with the knife. And that should give you really nice diced onion all the way across. You won't have those weird pieces from the inside. Like so. And I also leave about a 1/4 inch on the other side uncut, and that's what helps to keep this whole thing together. Geranium. I'm not sure if I follow them on Instagram, but I've heard of the name. Panda. Go cook in France. Do it up. Yeah, stream it. We're gonna cook this onion down quite a bit, so I'm gonna get the pan started for that. We're almost gonna get it to caramelize. Get it really nice and soft. And then we'll throw the apples in there last minute so those can stay a little bit crunchy. You built a surfboard, my good sir? I didn't know that you surfed. I love surfing. Okay, let's see if I can get kind of both sides of this. Oh, wrong one. Yeah. So pan is gonna go medium high for our onions. I'm gonna start with a little bit of olive oil and then probably drop some butter in about half of the way. Just for some extra flavor. Because butter. You beat up your surfboard. At least you used it though. Okay, I'm gonna chop up this sage real quick. Let's do it as fine as we can, just because it is a very strong herb. Guys, Kush is wild back there. Wild. Watch out. Thanks, Loriander. I've just been trying to stay really consistent and making something different every day. Helps me stay creative, stay on my chef game. I didn't want to leave the industry, but with the wages being so low, I just kind of got out. It wasn't worth it to work that hard anymore. But this has also helped me to get a lot more aware of my computer technology skills. So it's fun. It's definitely been a learning experience for me. You're moving to the US in April? Holy muffin. For what? Work? Give these a toss. Get them nicely coated in the olive oil. And let's take this pork out. Your thermometer is your best friend here when doing this reverse cooking method. 100%. And you want it to be really accurate. So I said 110, right guys? $107, $108. I think we hit it because it's going to carry over cooking about 10 degrees. And this is the thickest chop. So if this one's at 109, then these are all for sure at 110, which is great. I know it looks raw still, but it's medium rare. And these are going to just cool off now. So oven can go off. And we will set these aside. So we'll sweat the onions to start. I know you can't see too clearly in that camera. And then we'll turn down the pan a bit to a bit lower and let them caramelize a little bit. Lemon, why you gotta be like that? That's crazy, Loriander. I was never a huge fan of pork chops either until I started doing this method. And it really helps to get that perfect texture in the pork, and it's not like stringy and really dry. Pork tenderloin is really good too though. I used to eat a lot of that. Super good wrapped in bacon or marinated in some sort. It's really good on salad as well. I think I'm just gonna chop this a little bit smaller. And that way everything stays a consistent size. All of the pig. Yes, Rando. Cured pig, delicious. Yes, do a nice roll. That sounds great. Muffin, you're crazy. You know what? I need to freshen up my knife here. I can tell just by the sound of it getting stuck on the apple skin that I just need to give it a quick steal. And give these a toss. So they're turning a little darker brown on the outside, so I'm just gonna turn this down now. Get that slow cook. Limping! It's going so well. It's going really well today. People are crazy, and I love it. Guess what, Limping? Mom made cookies. After seeing yours today, I was like, so, are we gonna make cookies? And then she whipped these out. And they look fab. The knife, it's in my Amazon gear as well, by the way. And I think it's about $300, but well worth it. Like, I've never brought this in to get sharpened yet after 3 years. It's my strong and steady. Yeah, oatmeal. We didn't do raisin, we did cranberry. Because I'm using the raisins in the filling for the pork. And then some chocolate chips and coconut. It is a shun muffin. So it's pretty easy to access. It's not super unique, but it is the Elite series, I believe. It's true, Lemon. You have to be good. You just got Iberico ham? Holy sir. I'm jealous. I ate a lot of that when I was in Spain. And probably had to cut my trip short because of that. But it was so worth it. The flavor is unreal. Like, you're not gonna taste anything like that. The pigs are finished on acorns. So you actually taste that nuttiness in the meat after they cure it. It's amazing. Nothing like a prosciutto. Okay, apples are done. You missed the duck with KC. Who's that? Oh yeah, I could read my blog, I guess, about eating the Iberico ham. I did do a little food blog while I traveled Europe and ate. Excuse me. So I'm just cutting off the darker pieces of the brie rind here, because it will start to get a little bit of a funky texture. Lemon, chefs don't have long nails. It's too dangerous. And yes, there's too much stuff that gets stuck under there. It's gross. So I just cut mine off today, actually. No claws allowed in the kitchen. And in culinary school, if you had long nails, you got sent home to cut them from class and you had to come back and then get your instructor to check them. So it's not a thing. That is beautiful, Loriander. What? Grill Master? I need to look this up. How many people am I feeding? I usually feed 4, but I always like to make leftovers, which is why I made 6 pork chops so that we can eat it for lunch the next day. So I usually cook about 6 to 8 portions on stream, because leftovers are bomb and way cheaper than going out to eat for lunch. I think I would like him too, Limping. Okay, I think it's time to add our butter and our apples into this. And I wish Finn was here, unless he's lurking, because we got a fresh pot today. Fresh butter pot. Just gonna add about a tablespoon. You don't need a lot. When are we doing the vindaloo? Next week, I'm sure. We'll probably do curry. Okay, let's let that butter melt in. I'm gonna look up Beastmaster. Casey Master Beast, sorry. Found him. Go interwebs. The follow has been done. So I'll go back and check on his vids after the stream. It looks fun, guys. What is vindaloo? It is a type of Indian curry that I had one of my viewers request, because like Loriander and like you, Booper, he did some pretty good cheers so far this week. So I always like to reward my top cheers and donators with streams that they would like to see me cook things for them. Okay, this is browning up nicely. Let's get those apples and the sage into there. And now this is where it's gonna start to smell really good. Toss that all together. And then the last thing we're gonna do is make sure we season it really well. We don't want to give all of that love to our pork chop and then have a bland filling. I love watching people eat food. I'm sure it's just as hilarious when I do that too. You can taste it along the way, Limping. And that way you will develop better flavors on your palate for sure. But I'm gonna taste it at the end because it's gonna taste different when the apple is raw versus cooked. So the apple is gonna get a lot sweeter as it gets cooked. Compared to right now, it still has a little bit of astringency. And I'm also gonna pour my raisins into a bowl real quick. I have about a 1/4 cup, not too many. And then these are just gonna get some hot water over them to soften them up. Doobie says, what are you cooking? I am making some stuffed pork chops with apples, brie, and raisins and sage in the middle. And then I'm also gonna do a sweet potato and orange puree in the blender to go on the bottom of the plate for lots of color and sweetness. And then also some roasted green beans and squash. No, the red on my cheeks is from me drinking alcohol. I swear Lemon's just drunk in here all the time. And not you, Limping. Not you.
Everything.
Just everything Lemon. Guys, we got a Lemon in chat. Don't make us get that sward out.
Yeah, get out of the gutter, get out.
We can laugh out loud, guys. It's allowed. What is everyone else cooking this week? That's what I like to hear. Tell me what you're making. Or even if you don't cook, what is some of the favorite things that you go out and eat? What am I drinking? I'm having some Zambuca here.
Still?
Yeah, I'm still drinking that shot. Annie's, what'd you miss? Not too much. Just crazy everything Lemon being a shit disturber. Tristan's being quiet. Pizza and pasta, that's my man. Annie's, I'm just sauteing up the onions, apples, and sage in the pan back here. But other than that, the pork is out, it's resting, as you can see over there. I got a pretty good spread. I'm gonna get a spoon out for this now. Because as the apples cook, they're starting to stick to the pan. So I definitely can't toss them around the same. Mister, that sounds delicious. Rice and chicken.
Me too.
You know what, mister? I am in love with it too. Love working in it. Plus, that's the way that you keep everything clean. Why do you think chefs are always in whites? So that you can see if you're dirty and then wash it. It's what the kitchen's all about. Keeping it clean. Okay, so raisins are softening up. You can tell when they get like that little bit of a weird whiter color on the outside. Annie's an answer. Yeah, go raisins, go. I guess I should get a bowl out so that I can make the rest of this filling. And I also have to chop the brie up. Chop it up. I'll probably just pull it apart because it is really soft. Yes, mister. I'm sure that's fine, dude. It's totally fine. Then I just won't post it on YouTube because they're silly like that, right? Do whatever you feel like doing. Those are your vids. So the apples are starting to soften up now. I can tell because the color of the skin is starting to get more dull. And then throwing in the cold apples when the onions were like almost fully cooked, that stopped the cooking of the onions right away. And now they're just gonna caramelize in the pan. Try and get a close up for you guys here. Yum. Okay, I'm gonna use this bowl for the filling. You can definitely see how well aged this brie is. I don't know if I can even like chop it. Just gonna smush. Oh, it's not dry. It's one thing I learned in the cheese tasting class at school is you can age cheeses at home yourself as well. You just have to know when to not push them over the point of no return. So this brie right now, probably another week and it would be bad. Just because of the texture that it is at. Because usually brie isn't that soft, right? But the flavor change now. Unreal. Yum. Try and scrape that all off the board. Seal the board with cheese. It's all good. No, there's no weird smell. So also watch for that. And as long as your rind stays nice and white and doesn't go like any weird orange colors of sorts, you're fine. When did we buy this brie?
After Christmas?
Yeah, we bought this brie at the end of December. And it stayed in the fridge until now. So as long as you keep it clean, keep your dirty fingers out of there, use really nice clean utensils when cutting it up, you're fine. I think this filling is almost there. Just gonna test an apple real quick. It should be a little bit spongy still. It's perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this off and season it up. Let it cool before I mix it in with the Brie. Otherwise, it'll just be a melty mess and goopy. Oh my gosh, Moogie. This is a shun. Let me just wipe it off real quick. If you go to the bottom of my channel page, it's there on my Amazon gear if you want to check out what it actually is. Moogie had a chill day. Glad to hear it. Happy hump day, my friends. Halfway through to Friday. We're almost there. And let us see our raisins. They can go a bit more. They're not super soft. Actually, why don't I just throw them in with the warm apples? And then they'll soften up the rest of the way. This is where we're at, guys. All right. Pork chops are nicely cooled down, so we can start making the slits to put the stuffing into. Was this just used for fruits and stuff? Okay. So I'm just gonna get this board out of here. Bring our pork in. I hope it's gonna be a tasty menu. I think it's gonna be great. All of these flavors should work really well together. It's a nice, like, wintry, cold weather dish for sure. All right, guys, let's get into these chops. So because these are bone in, we're obviously gonna want to go from the opposite side to make our slit. And you wanna keep the opening fairly small so that your stuffing doesn't all fall out when you pan fry it. So I'm using a paring knife. And hopefully I can get through this. I think I'm gonna get a different knife. Something a little bit pointier. But there is a good chunk of sinew here on the end. I'm not sure if you can see it. So this is not just fat. That's why it's a little bit difficult to get through. And I didn't want to make this slit beforehand because then the pork chop wouldn't cook evenly, right? Okay, we're almost through that little bit of gristle. And then our job should get a little bit easier from here on out. There we go. So pretty much a hole the size of your finger, maybe a bit bigger. And then you want to keep it really even, so I'm going to lay this down so that I can make sure that I go through the middle part. I know this is going to get like weird with me sticking my finger in here, but you guys asked for me to make this, so... This is the stuff that happens behind the scenes when you order that wonderful stuffed pork chop at the restaurant. You want enough space in there so you get at least a couple tablespoons of filling throughout. Luncheon tortoise. That's crazy, Loriander. The chops would be $10 to $15 each?
In Texas?
That's crazy. These are just loin chops, mister. Okay, that one worked a lot easier. And just go slow and steady, guys. There should be no reason for you to rush through this and end up like cutting yourself or piercing through the whole piece of meat, like to the outside, because that would be a shame. I mean, you could also butterfly the chop and open it up all the way, but then you have to make sure that you tie it closed, because then for sure all of the filling is going to come out. I know, there's some pretty thick chops, hey? You want at least a good inch, though, if you're gonna get a pork chop. It's a must. Yes, limping. All is well now. The bad child has gone to bed. Moogie, I was just gonna say, can someone find that recipe? Because it looks very interesting, or sounds interesting. Ah, mister. Well, it's worth the money then, is what I'll say to you. If it's fresh and expensive, I'm sure it tastes amazing. $2 or $3 each. Yeah, that's pretty accurate to what we paid. We got a pack of, I think, 10 for just over $20. Yeah, we get pretty good price points here in Canada, have to say. But also being a chef, I think it helps me to know what to look for in a piece of meat that's already cut. So people do look at me really weird when I go shopping in the supermarket because I pick through like all of the meat to find the best one. You have to have that patience. For Loken's skilled pad. Hey, Loriander, do you have the foraging app for Denmark? Okay, one more, guys, of this weirdness. And then we should be able to start stuffing. I'll look on my phone after this, but there's a foraging app that Noma uses to forage for like all of their beachy foods and stuff like that. And it's all in Danish, so I don't really know what anything means in there. But I wish there was something like that here for North America. You can get a brisket. See, that's what kills me, mister. Brisket is so expensive here. We pay, I would say retail at least $120 for an 18-pound brisket. It's absolutely insane. All right, chops are done. Okay, people are on their way. I'm just gonna check that app. It's called Wildmad. Oh, there we go. Wildmad. And they even do recipes and everything like that. And it is free. That's insane, mister. And it's of good quality as well. That's the most important part. I mean, you can get a lot of cheap briskets out there, and then when you cook them, they're not as good as you expected it to be. All right, time for this filling. So apples are just warm, and that's okay. That is okay by me. The Brie should mix in just fine. It's so cool. Yeah, that app is amazing. A ragu. All right, guys, the mixing of the stuffing. Let's get that happiness mixed into there. And then once this is mixed up, then I will season it. Because the Brie is really creamy, right? So you have to take that into account as well. I mean, you could even just eat this on crackers right now, and I'm sure it'd be delicious. And if there's any extra filling, I think that's what I might do with it. Cracker snacks. Okay, that looks good. It's holding together well. It's not overly soupy. Mugi, it definitely depends on the type of meat you're buying. So for these chops, I can help you out a little bit for pork chops. Get in here. So let's do this one. So these two, they're obviously different, right? This one is the better one. Because this fat up here, first of all, is fabulous. And then this dark strip of meat, that's full of flavor. Whereas this is just a loin chop. And yes, there is still fat up there, But having the light meat fully on this chop is not going to taste as good as all of this dark meat here. I mean, it's still going to taste great, but you'll definitely notice a difference. And actually, I have some ribeyes in the fridge that I can just go quickly grab and go over with you as well. All right, so 2 prime rib roasts. Both are different. Let me just turn this one around proper. So can you guys spot the difference in these? Let's do this one first. So the marbling is really nice in this one. That's why I picked this one first off. And the bone is not that big. So it's not as thick as it. And I really liked the nice marbling, as well as it still having the complete fat cap. If we turn it over, you can see the eye, which you'll always see in ribeye, is this nice piece of fat in the middle here, which is all of your flavor. And then this strip along the side is like the same as a pork chop, except this is called a rib cap. And this sells just by itself for about $60 a kilo here. So if we look at this little roast, this is really good because the rib cap is huge on this compared to the other piece of meat that it's attached to. So that's what you should always look for with ribeyes, is always look for a nice rib cap on the outside. If it doesn't have this, don't get it. It's not worth your money because that's the best piece of meat on there. Both are good though, guys. For sure, both are good. So I'm gonna cut these up into steaks when I'm not on stream and have some really nice bone-in rib steaks for whatever I wanna do. All right, back to our pork chops. I'm gonna try and get a really small spoon. We did have one. To just kind of help me stuff the pork chops. Yes, exactly, Moogie. Tri-tip is a little bit different limping, but definitely look for nice marbling always. That's all of your flavor in beef comes from that. Yeah, good eating tonight, mister, for sure. Kind of ruin my family for cooking, but it's fine. Loriander, I just saw that you posted the recipe in Discord. Amazing. So I think I'm just gonna get messy and use my hands for this. I'm not scared. Stuff it in there as best as you can. I know it looks creepy, guys, on stream, but this is how you do a stuffed pork chop properly. It's gonna get real fat and thick. Oh, and guess what I didn't do? Because I got carried away talking. I didn't season it. Bad, Kate. Bad. That's the one thing you can't forget, is season your foods. Start to finish. Okay, I'm gonna stop before I get carried away and make sure that I taste this filling. Because we know it looks good and smells good, but How do we know if it tastes right? Moogie, I cook for 4 people, but I always make leftovers for lunches and stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of salt into here. Couple cracks of black pepper, and then we should be great to go. It's really nice and creamy. The onions are super sweet. If you didn't know there was onions in there, I'm sure you wouldn't even be able to tell, especially with the apples. Yeah, we're good. Okay, Lori, I'll check it after, for sure, and I'll let you know. Mister, so these are cooked to medium rare. I slow roasted them for about 40 minutes. And then we're gonna finish these off in a cast iron pan to sear the outside. And then that will bring it up to a perfect medium. That way our pork chop stays nice and juicy inside. All right. So try to not get it to really bulge too much because you still want to get it to sear nicely. So, sorry, I held that up way too high. You can see it's like drooping a bit on this side, which is fine. And I think that's all of the filling I'm gonna put into that guy. I don't want to like overfill it and have it all melt out when I go to sear it. Loriander, I feel like that's the case with a lot of traditional things, is all of the old people love it, and then the new people are so scared to try it or just have their noses turned up before they even try it. It's almost disrespectful to the cuisine. I know, Ainies, hey? Killing it. It's the long little pincer fingers that I have. Stuff it in. Okay, these might be too delicious. I'm sorry, fam. After I do this, I'm going to turn the sweet potatoes on to boil. Those will take about 20 minutes. And then we're gonna get our oven on to really high heat so that we can roast our squash and beans. Should take about 10 minutes for those. And then our pork chops will take no longer than 10 minutes as well. Make sure all that filling is distributed well. Try and keep it off of the outside of the pork chop, just so it doesn't like burn or anything like that when we sear it. Oh.
Okay, here's the App Store.
Siri thinks I'm talking to her, guys. I say sear, and Siri's like, I'm here. Sounds interesting, Loriander. But I'm into it. I'm always down to try something new, at least once. Maybe I'll love it. Or maybe I'll hate it. Yes, fried green tomatoes are the bomb. Definitely underrated. 50 different things in it? Holy. The sounds coming out of this right now are just not good. Good thing everything lemon isn't still in here. Delicate. I do have text to speech on, just it doesn't work because OBS is not talking to Streamlabs on my Mac. It's a reoccurring problem that us Mac users have that Streamlabs does not care to help with. But I can just imagine what happens. $50 ingredients. It sounds fun. The ingredients don't scare me. I mean, it might be a little bit difficult for me to find everything. Get in there. Dude, tamales, I have to make those on stream at some point. I still have my masa from when I did tacos, I think last week or a couple weeks back. And the next thing on my list to use with the masa is tamales. I found corn husks at one of the supermarkets here, so I know that I can do it. Okay, over halfway there. Awkward, weird pork stuffing stream. And if anyone is planning to watch tomorrow, I'm making bouillabaisse. First time I've made this. I've eaten it once in Marseille. So the authentic stuff, and hopefully I can recreate it just as well. And I think I might be making baguettes as well to go with it. Mrs. BC, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Stuffed pork chops, yeah. Just put you to sleep. Make you feel real good. One thing I will say though, is if there's extra filling left over, make sure you heat it up again before you eat it, right? Because this pork isn't fully cooked, and I've been double dipping, let's say. Calf's brain. Have I eaten calf's brain? I don't think so. But I would say it's probably close to like sweetbreads, yeah? I can only do sweetbreads if they're really crunchy though. Yeah, bouillabaisse is also complicated. And I'm gonna have, so Monocle is one of my viewers too. That's my aunt. And she requested me to make that. So she's actually coming over tomorrow to watch me from behind the scenes and learn how to make it. Super fun. I think eventually I'm gonna get some people in here with me. Have a couple of friends on the island that I would love to come have them in here and cook with me. Yes, Monocle, just for you. I didn't know if you were still watching or not. Okay, this is good. We're good. Stuffed up. I think I used just over half of the filling I made. So you could also just freeze that. And if you wanted, like, someone likes to use pork tenderloin, you could stuff that into a pork tenderloin instead. Or even chicken would work. Turkey would be really good still. Yes, it comes from Marseille. A very, very interesting place to travel on your own if you are a woman. Just so you know. Definitely one of the most unsafe places that I have felt. And therefore, I did not stay there that long. But I still made it my mission to eat bouillabaisse while I was there. Mister. Yeah, Danish meatballs. Sounds good, but expensive. All right. Get these sweet potatoes on, boiling. I'm gonna pack up this filling real quick. Try and finish my Zambuca that I've been nursing all stream. Limping, I love it too. Honestly, I was so scared to leave my job in Vancouver and try to do this on my own. It's like, obviously I'm not getting paid, right? But the amount of support that I've gotten so far is just like, keeps that fire lit under my ass, and I can't stop now. And honestly, even if this doesn't work out, I know I'm still gonna end up streaming, even if it's just part-time, because I do enjoy it so much. Like, the Twitch community is awesome. For the most part. You get a couple bad lemons every now and then. Yeah, hey. It's gonna be a surreal feeling. Done a lot of dancing though so far. I feel good. Alright, let's get this oven warming up. I'm gonna do this on convection. Just because I have 2 full sheet pans of veg going in. And actually, let's do it at 440 Fahrenheit. That's cool, Loriander. I'm just gonna pop out. I'll be right back though, like less than a minute. All right, I'm here. I don't know much about Danish food, so I'm very happy that we met. I need to learn stuff from you. I am getting my cast irons out right now. That is what I love to use when I sear my food. For sure, anything like a pork chop or a steak. It just holds the heat really well. Do it, Loriander. Do it. It's one thing I love to do is just make up my own recipes. I'm sure eventually I'll do a cookbook of sorts. I already have a full notebook done up of what I've streamed, like of what I've cooked on stream so far. So all I have to do is type it up and I'm well on my way. 60 years old, it has to be good then. Tristan, are you still in here? Gonna get my blender out and ready for the sweet potatoes. And also get the butter over here. Sweet potatoes are incomplete without butter. Let it be known. You suck with homemade meatballs. One pointer that I'll say is don't pack them down. Just like scoop it out with a spoon. Lightly form a ball with your hand and then just leave it alone and cook it like that. I know it looks like it's gonna fall apart, but it won't. That's the mistake a lot of people make, is they overwork the meat for the meatballs and then it's like a rubbery ball, right? Good old Tropicana for our sweet potatoes as well. And I still have my salt and pepper in front of me. No, Loriander, that's so sad. My mom has a really good chocolate cake recipe, and I'm glad she still has it. Pro tips, Onionies. Don't overwork the meat. Same with burgers, though. Don't do it. And it just turns into a baseball. I know, it's those things that make us so sad, hey? Forever gone. All right. So a little bit of searing talk. I like to use an oil that has a high smoke temp. So grapeseed is really good. Or any kind of vegetable oil, like canola oil works well. But do not use olive oil to sear meat of any kind, because it doesn't have a high smoke point and you'll end up with a really bitter flavor. Onionies is lost. Is it real or is it just fantasy? And then another good thing to find is splatter guards. And that way you won't destroy your house with oil splattering everywhere. Wow, so it's a different version then from an Italian meatball. Hey, Loriander? Very interesting.
Yeah.
Or container?
No, just a
It's fried. That sounds delicious. Okay, I might as well pack up these cookies while we wait for all of this stuff to heat up. Don't want them to dry out. Meat and milk, Mister's fave. Bear in mind, what's my skincare routine? I use a face wash and a moisturizer with sunscreen in it every day. That's about it. Nothing crazy. Simple is always better. For all the cookie monsters out there. Check out the photo. Okay, I have time. Good. Call me out, Loriander. Let me just get a refresh here. Charging the spirit bomb. That looks so good. What? They're like little quenelled meatballs. Of course, everybody knew. The link to the Discord invite is on my channel page. So just click where it says Discord, and then you'll be put into the server with all of us. And that's where I post all of my recipes from the stream. I'll let you know when I'm going on, and then whatever questions or whatever you want to chat about. I'm usually pretty active in there. A cuter alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. Googling right now. I'm like the brown-haired version. I'll take that as a compliment. Thanks, a bear in mind. You're on mobile. You can still get in on Discord. There's an app, mister. Mister. Okay, cutting board is coming back in for our meat carvery later. Potatoes are boiling. think they just came up to a boil. And I'm gonna drink the last of this Sambuca.
You still slowest. That's the slowest shot ever.
Oh, you can't see my channel page on... I get it, mister. I got you. All right, that is our oven. Best girl of 1027. Love it. There you go, mister. Okay, that is our oven for our veg, which I was like, wow, that's from way back. I'm gonna wait a little bit to put the veg in. No, I'm not. That's a lie. My people are here. It's only gonna take 10 minutes.
Hi, people.
I think. But maybe I should let the sweet potatoes finish first. And then I'll put the veg in and start searing the pork chops off at the same time. The same damn time. And then everything will be ready. Hot and ready. Send Barry your regards. He's doing well today. He's okay. He had a good one. Hello. Delicate. Yes, I love Instagram.
You're actually in the chat.
I guess I'm a chef. I've cooked for 7 years in professional kitchens before this. Can definitely work my way around a kitchen with no fear. I didn't always start out this way though. Used to be a little shy girl. Alright, potatoes are still gonna go... Yeah, I used to be shy. It's a fact. Potatoes are gonna take probably about 8 more minutes. So we can just chill out for a little bit. For at least 5. Yeah. Like T minus... Yeah, T minus 20 minutes.
Okay.
No dilly-dallying. So let's just take a quick peek at this pork. You can see how nice and dry the top is. That's gonna give us that really nice sear that we're looking for. And then if you look in the recipe section in Discord, I posted a link from Serious Eats that explains why reverse sear is so good with pork. I mean, I wouldn't say it's better than sous vide. They're both like really accurate in taking the time to make it cook properly, but with this method, at least the outside still stays dry. Whereas sous vide, you're gonna pull it out of the bag and it's gonna be wet. So it does not sear up the same. Barry?
Huh?
Would you like to say hi?
Hello. I'm feeling better today. I'm not dying.
No death.
I was sick yesterday. That's all.
That's it.
That's it.
So
No barfs.
No barfs.
No barfs, guys. I will get some plates out though. Not the blue ones though. I cannot wait to cut into these pork chops later. Were you a shy kid too, Onionies? I could see it. Boop, are you still in here? Yeah, after watching your little video, I could totally tell. I'm glad we all grew out of it, though. Just getting some aguas, guys. I'm a little parched.
I'm drinking all that, so. There's some guys
Is it raining?
it was.
What? It woos. You don't even look like a nerd, though. You look like you would play polo or something.
Yeah. I had her out with me this afternoon.
Oh my gosh, Loriander. That is something I would love to get into. I think I would really enjoy mixology. I mean, it's very similar to cooking.
Yeah.
You just have to know your alcohol flavors and what to mix it with. It would take me a bit though, because I don't love alcohol. I can definitely say that. But when someone makes a really good cocktail, I can easily drink it. And I think that's what makes cocktails good, is you shouldn't taste the alcohol in it. But that also makes it dangerous.
That's actually happening where they do this.
I love that. I'm into it. So did you dig into your Iberico ham yet?
It's got some Iberico?
Yeah, Loriander. Infusions. One of my favorite infusions that I've had so far is a strawberry tequila. It was so good. Oh, it hasn't arrived yet. Well, please let me know when it does. Have you eaten it before, though? I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Holy smokes.
So I had a big chat with her a little while ago, just because she said the press up Jenny money today and
Let's get a little testy test in here. It's 14 pounds. Oh my god.
She was asking about the house and, you know.
Think.
right? So she said,
We're all good.
you guys do good on your house, like in the cave.
Yeah, I'll be so.
You can easily stab your knife through the sweet
exactly.
potato.
So I said, yeah,
You are good to go.
what?
So, let us strain this, and then I'm going to put it into the blender. put all the stuff over here.
But we had the one credit cards. 'Cause then we bought it all, so
Here is our beauties, sweet potatoes. They do look like good breakfast, mister. Good
So either
point.
front split or back split. So when you walk into the split, how many levels? Just two?
No, say it, Loriander. Believe me, I know how much it costs. I paid way too much of it, or for it, when I was in Spain, but it was so worth it.
And what could they smell now? Yeah.
Just make sure that you cherish it and don't eat it all in one sitting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'll be the same for these guys too, right?
Okay. Butter.
Yeah.
More butter. Okay, maybe a little bit more.
More.
Okay, that's good.
More. One more.
More?
Yeah, one more.
No, I don't want it to make it too soupy. Well, that's good. At least you're giving it to some people then. And orange juice measurements. Probably about like half a cup. I'm just gonna use the rest of this. Thank you.
Welcome.
Salted or unsalted?
Unsalted butter. Always unsalted, Bob. That way you can control how much salt you're putting into your food at all times. It's really hard to control your salt levels if you're using salted butter. Start with about a tablespoon of salt again. Keep in mind, I already put a tablespoon into the water when we boiled this. So let's go slow and steady on that end. And then we're just gonna blend this up and it should turn out really nice and smooth.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Just because I haven't seen it. That's awesome.
This blender is very powerful, so always start slow. What did that take me? Like a minute? And that's how smooth it is. Smooth like butter. Rush! It's been too long. How are you? It's going so great today, dude. Every day it just gets better and better. No joke. Okay, let's get this into the frame. Her beautiful color. Nuclear, welcome. I'm glad you think that sounds good. We're pretty pumped about how this is gonna end up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he has to do his deposit and his.
That's fair, Lori, that's fair.
Actually, you know what?
I mean, I guess if you know how potent your salted butter is, then you know how much salt you need to add, right? Yeah, she loves getting in here and checking out what I'm doing. So here is the consistency. Yes, it does look a little bit like baby food, but this is gonna go on the bottom of the plate. Just gonna get a taste test.
Actually, might need it.
What do you think? Here's what. A little more salt.
Just a little bit, like maybe a teaspoon and a half.
Can I have a wine glass, please?
Okay, 1 teaspoon more of salt.
Maybe like a nub of butter, nothing more than that. Wine glass.
And a little bit more butter is what my boyfriend says, who is also a chef. So we'll trust him, guys. The trust.
Don't do it. Oh, that's my pajama bottoms.
M&M pajamas for the win. Should be good. Nuclear's a salt fiend, as you should. I mean, you still need salt to live. That's the best part.
Sit here drinking.
Every day.
But hopefully you haven't killed your taste buds. Death
Yeah,
Fury,
that's
what's up, what's up? Getting back in here. Taste test round 2. I think we hit perfection, my friends. Okay, so this can just stay in the blender covered. It's gonna stay warm. Betty needs a taste too. Don't forget about Betty. The hint of orange juice is perfect.
Okay.
I love rye bread coriander. Like, love it. All right. Let us start our cast iron pans. For our pork chops. And then I'm gonna throw the veg in now as well. You're gonna want a really high heat here.
I'll have a beer.
Can you have a beer tonight?
I'll
Yeah,
have a
wait.
beer.
Have a beer and I'll cheers then.
And obviously use the most powerful burners on your stove as well. You make homemade rye bread? Yum. Yes. We used to do a smoked duck Reuben, and I made a beet sauerkraut with it.
Yeah.
It was so good, guys. I love Reubens.
When is it gonna end?
Yeah, because I'm not.
When do you
For at
know?
least 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Veg is in. Let's get that timer on.
2 months.
Let's do 6 minutes, and then I'll probably rotate those trays. And let me fix this as well right now.
Now you can see. Next to
Yeah. Like,
Don't mind me.
Francois would be like, what?
And we are on our way. To perfection. Yeah, Reuben lover right here. Even just rye bread with butter though is fabulous. Just gonna make sure I fully coat the bottom of the pan with the oil. And we're probably gonna push those pans to just the smoking point. And then we'll put our pork chops in and let it get all happy. If you want to use butter when you're searing the pork, throw that in at the end and then just kind of spoon it over your pork chops if you want to go really rich. But these are stuffed with brie, so I don't think we need to do that here. Kneading the dough with your feet? Unreal. I can imagine that's really fun. I want to do that. It's like making wine.
I guess. Sounds weird.
Wash your feet off first. You're good. That's how you get those natural yeasts in there, right?
Yeah.
Foot cheese.
Toe jam.
Yeah. Okay, one pan is smoking. Just to let you know, guys, I will be turning up the hood fan a little bit. So it might be a little hard to hear. I'm not sure how it is on your end. We're going in.
Fan.
You want to hear that sizzle right away as well. Otherwise your pan is not hot enough. I might only be able to get 2 into this guy. It's gonna be a tight fit. Actually, you might get 3. Nope. I'm gonna wait. I don't want to overcrowd the pan, otherwise it's not gonna sear nice. And sorry, I do have to cover these because I don't want to splash the oil everywhere. But you can still see through, which is nice. The sound is great. It's like one of the best parts of cooking. Okay, we're going up high for a bit. And then these chops, it should only take about 2 minutes per side to get some good color on there. So definitely make sure your pan is really hot to start, because we already did all of the good hard work by making the inside cooked perfectly. So we don't want to end up with any dry pork chops. Twould be sad. Let's get a check. So you can see the color. We're getting there. I'm gonna let it go 1 more minute. Ouch. That's my face. Not the first time. It's fine. What did I just miss when my back is turned, you sneakers? RGB Master Race donated 25 bucks. Pork chops and a tequila shot. I already did Zambuca today. I don't know, do I need to get drunk on stream? Okay, let me flip these and then I'll rotate the veg. See that nice color, guys? Look at that. Yum. And then the second time always cooks faster than the first time. So don't take longer on the second flip. And I will just be putting them onto my cutting board to rest for a couple of minutes before we carve in. We're getting there, guys. We're almost there. Get that close up. Sizzle, sizzle. We're working fast now. Look at this one. The apple's trying to sneak out. And the Brie says hello. I think that one seared the nicest. Actually, I guess I could just finish that last chop while we wait. Do it in the smaller pan. Since it's so hot, might as well. Call it a day. I know, mind equals blown, hey? It's the same with a grilled cheese or anything like that. Anytime after you flip it, it's always gonna cook faster on the other side. Okay, I'll give you guys some pork chop corn while I finish the other one. Get a nice big spoon for our sweet potato mash. Yeah, they're looking great. This little burnt part here, I think that's from the cheese from when I was stuffing it because I didn't wipe it off. But other than that, we got a pretty even sear on there. Gonna check a bean. Checking it out. Here's our little beaner, so you can see it has some char there on the end. Aw, muffin. Sad for you. Yeah, I totally remember bland chicken breast days. Hopefully not every day is like that for you, though. Okay, that one can come off. I'll finish cooking in the pan. It's gonna stay nice and hot. And then veg is coming out. Here's our beans. Here is our squash. Just gonna do a little poke test on the squash. Perfectly tender. Onionies. Killing them. Are you training for something, Muffin? I feel bad for you a little bit. All right, time for the plate up. I'll put this up just so you guys can watch. So first thing I'm doing is spreading the sweet potato onto the bottom of the plate. Actually, I guess I can go over here. And we're just gonna spread it out. Make a nice bed for everything. Make sure you keep some white space though on the edge of your plate. It's really important if you're looking to up your plate game. Then we'll get our contrast with our beans and our squash. So just place those around. And then one good rule of thumb is to always keep your plates with odd numbers if you have specific pieces of stuff. So I have 7 pieces of squash here, or do 5 pieces or 3. And that is one rule of plating that we learned in culinary school.
It's just decorating. So,
And now I'm gonna carve up one of these lovelies. Trying to get this in the frame so you guys can watch. So first thing we're gonna do is just go along the bone. This one has a full bone along the bottom, as well as all the way through the chop. So just run your knife along that. Like so. You're training to be ripped out of your mind. Well, let me tell you, dude. I hope that it's worth it for you, because I don't know if it was for me. You know what? The Thug Kitchen cookbook is really good. I enjoy the recipes in there. I can't wait till we hit the stuffing part. There we go. Actually a little bit undercooked in the middle. If you guys want to see what undercooked pork looks like. So that was the thickest chop though, just so you know. So instead of doing a couple minutes in the pan, you could go longer. I'm gonna let these other ones rest though for a couple minutes more. So you can definitely see it here. You don't want to eat that. But I'm definitely going to try a piece. I'm not going to put that on the plate. The texture is good. Let's try another one. Because it feels firm on the outside. See, we're learning what not to do still. This one's already looking better. But I do always like to present my pork chop with the bone in. All right, another one. So, I've always cooked my reverse sears to a medium inside, which should be around 125 to 130. I did medium rare for this. I was following Serious Eats is what I posted in my recipe page. So I would not go that low if you're gonna do this method, because you can obviously see that it's undercooked. And I wouldn't want to serve that to anybody. So we're gonna put these back in the pan real quick, but I'm not gonna finish, or I'm not gonna continue the stream unless you guys want to wait around for me to reheat it up. But other than that, I'll just do a quick plate up so you guys can see what the dish is gonna look like. And I will taste the squash and beans for you. This just goes to prove that picture perfect means nothing when you're cooking. So there is what the plate is gonna look like. Kind of fan out your pork so you can see the stuffing in there. But definitely do not serve undercooked pork to anybody. I would not suggest that. What do you guys think of this right now? Are you upset like I am? Mom's upset?
No, don't be upset. It's cooking up science.
Yeah, it is fancy. It's supposed to be fancy. But you know what? These are gonna cook faster if I take them all off of the bone. So I'm gonna do that now while my pans are heating up. Then I'm just gonna do a couple more minutes. I'm gonna throw the veg that's on the tray back into the oven so they stay warm. The oven is off, so they're not gonna overcook in there. And this is how you fix something if you don't cook it right. Thanks, Booper. I know, that was my vision for plating, and I'm glad it turned out. I'm just not super happy that the pork is undercooked, but you gotta learn from your mistakes, right? That's what cooking is all about. And definitely don't throw those bones out. Oh no, Def, see? Today is the day to undercook pork. Okay, one pan is smoking, which is good. Exactly. That's why we're here, is to learn. You can't just give up if something doesn't work out. And that's what a lot of people do when they cook. You have to follow through. Delicate, I know you're loving it. It's a bad feeling, Booper, but we carry on, right? So let me just put this veg back in. Keep it nice and warm. Just gonna take this one sliced up piece of pork off of here. Obviously, we're not eating that tonight. But I will finish that in the pan tomorrow for lunch, for sure. Two more minutes, my friends. Our bone carcasses on here. Looks amazing. How did I stuff the pork? So I cut a slit into the side that was across from the bone, and then kind of just used my knife to hollow out the middle and stuffed it with my hands. It was kind of awkward and hilarious during stream, but I had to show you guys how to do it. Exactly, Death. Sounds good, Monaco. See you tomorrow. See, now I'm missing all these donates. Gotta keep up. Thanks for keeping me on point. Grill power. Mistakes happen. Thank you for the $10. Cheering me on. You gotta keep going. I know, hey Delicate, it's your first time. It's been a crazy stream so far. Absolutely nuts, so. Alright, I'm happy with these now. Yum. How's this little guy looking? This is what I'm gonna do. Gotta dust yourself off and try again. that sizzle. All right, shall we? The moment we've really all been waiting for. I'm going in. That is perfect. My people. Yep, it is. So even though it's still a little bit pink in there, that is medium. That is perfect. And the stuffing didn't all fall out. It's beautiful. We don't have to let it rest because we already slow cooked it reverse sear. That's the best part. Is you let it rest before you sear it, and then you can eat it right away. And no, I'm not afraid that there was raw pork on here already. I've eaten raw pork before, so not terrified. Just gonna move this out of the way so that I can do a taste test with you guys. Rage machine. No, I already let it rest before. Don't worry. It's fine, Rage. Okay, here is our close-up one more time. So you can see those layers of stuffing in there. It's delicious. And I need a little steak knife. Maybe I should just take a photo of this real quick for Instagram. Thanks, Anies. I know, guys, it's not hard to do this at home. It's really not. Okay, I'm getting in the middle because I want to try some of that stuffing, right? Just gonna pull it off to the side so I can cut it. Get on there. Okay, cam's going up now so you can actually see my reaction. Because I can always just say it's good when my face isn't in there, right? Mr. Mouth Cam, yep. Mm-hmm. It's like butter. It's kind of like a play on turkey dinner, I find, just using pork. With the apples, the sweet potatoes, the beans, the brie. Okay, let me eat a piece of pork with the sweet potato puree. Mm-hmm. You get just a hint of the citrus from the orange juice at the end. It's really, really nice. And then our lemon, garlic, and thyme squash. Super, super juicy inside still. Ooh, I just got a raisin. It was really nice and sweet. Squash isn't overcooked. It's nice and delicate. It's actually quite earthy compared to the pork and the sweet potato puree. I really like, I guess, I don't know how to describe like the green flavor, but it keeps the dish really nice and fresh. And that is it, my people. Okay, I'll munch a bean for you too. It's good. Good dinner. I'm happy with it. A little oopsie with the pork, but you never know until you cut into it, right? I didn't want to stick a thermometer into it again. And that's it. That is how you make stuffed pork chops. If you didn't get all of the stream, by all means, go back and watch the video when I'm off. And for all you newbies, get in on our Discord. The invite to the server is on my channel page, so click the link. And I also post on Instagram every day of what I make. So if you miss a stream, don't worry, go check it out. If you think it looks good, then you can watch the video. And that is it, my friends. So I will see you tomorrow again around 2:30 p.m. PST. We are making bouillabaisse from scratch. I have fresh mussels, cod, and snapper for that. And I might make homemade baguettes for it. I don't know yet. I'll have to start a little bit earlier if I do. And we'll be serving it with a roux. So if you don't know what any of those things are, make sure you tune in tomorrow. And we are gonna go munch now. Thank you once again, Booper, for the cheers. And where are you in here? Did you leave? Yeah, Loriander. Are you still in here, Loriander? I just want to thank you for the donation. Smile more. Hi! I'm happy. And Grill Power. Grill Power and RGB with the donates as well. Thank you guys. And thank you everyone for the new follows. And yes, watch that YouTube vid. It's a little montage that Anyaniz does up every week for us now. Alright, we are out. Loriander, I just said thank you so much for the donation today. It was really fun. And hopefully see you again tomorrow for bouillabaisse from scratch. Alright guys, peace.